is the anti-checker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
All right, I did it. I did a bird. I admit it. Ah. All right, sorry about that. All right. Sorry. So.
I got him! Great
Start that mess over again. I hate the delay, too, because everybody's still putting in the chat, you can't hear, you can't hear, you can't hear you, when I already unmuted it, but I know. All right, so. Rewind. And start over. Hey everybody, Michael J. Crawford, the anti-checker here. Thomas is first, Resolute second, Commander Sutter's third, BIRDOPREY is fourth, etc., and so forth. Brian is fifth and says, hi, ni-ho, everybody. Thomas throws a $1.99 asking for the new one. Commander Sutter puts in $2 also asking for the new one. So Commander Sutter, since you asked second, I'm going to ask you if you want a different one other than the new one. But in the meantime, here's the new one. Hey, Joshua, I just want to make sure you knew I had a new Super Chat idea for you. Hey,
Oh, no more Super Chats, you bastard!
Stop hiding people's faces to avoid lip sync. There it is. That one. It was entirely Joshua's idea. He did that one from beginning to end. He actually did the audio, like with my voice, he just did his own best imitation of me, but I redubbed it with my voice today because it didn't sound quite right. But it was, I thought that that was a lot of fun. So Commander Sutter, you have a choice. Since you asked for that one, I could just play it again, but I'm not going to be a jerk like BIRDOPREY. So just let me know which other one you might want. Or if you do want me to play it again, you let me know. And so what I was starting to say also when I realized I was muted, Mrs. Anti-Trekker, is no, yours is not done because we have to finish the audio stuff and we haven't done that yet. So that's something that you and I have to do. So skip past all the no mic stuff. Mr. Wolverine has new glasses. Yes, these are my new glasses. Just picked them up yesterday. And so, yeah, thank you. And Captain MKG thinks they look good. Thank you so much. Rock Solid is here. I was not expecting to see you, Rock Solid. I know that you are having a rough day, my friend. Says, don't forget, people, smash that like button, share via social, set chat for live, donate if you can.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky.
And Harvey, I have no idea who Harvey is, but donated $5, wants to see the new one. We'll play it in just a second. Let me get caught up here. But first of all, Rock Solid, in all seriousness for just a moment, thoughts and prayers to you. BIRDOPREY talked about what happened with your father, or was it grandfather, I think. You correct me. But I'm truly, truly sorry. And I hope that all goes well. Thomas says, new one seemed louder on the left earphone. That could be because I'm a little... Jason, thank you so much. Puts $2 in. Says, good evening, Anti-Trekker. I paused the NHL 2019 because I saw you were live. Well, thank you, Jason. Although... do what's right for you. If of course you can pause it and go back to it. But welcome. And Dr. Alex is here. Of course, now you're here when Mrs. Anti-Trekker is not home, so we can't sample your fine mead. You need to be on a stream when Mrs. Anti-Trekker is home. And Thursday night she's always out with Joshua. And then Commander Sutter wants number 19, so I will play number 19, which, if I can remember which one that is.
Presenting the newest incarnation of the Joker!
What? What are you talking about? That's not the Joker. That's just some guy.
Oh, right. Sorry. This is the new incarnation of the Joker.
Oh, great.
Oh my goodness, it's Ronald McDonald's disembodied head!
All right, so now, The new UBERCHAT is direct footage from the front lines of the war between Kurdistan and Caroga. There were some significant events in the war between our two factions, and so you guys have, brace yourselves. I know this may be shocking. Those of you who are, sensitive to graphic content may want to look away for a moment, because it's pretty harsh what happens here.
Base, this is Anti-Tracker aboard the Goliath. Please confirm that we sent communication ships to anybody in the area so that they would know not to be in their ships right now. Thank you, Base. We're going to commence with weapons test.
I left the chips on your ship? What chips? What's a chip? You left chips on the ship. I don't even know what the hell a chip is.
Roger, Base. This
You
is
mean like
Anti-Tracker
computers?
in the Goliath, ready for weapons test.
I don't see anything on the ship. Am I missing something? Oh, right there. I am missing something. What the hell is that?
Roger, Base. Preparing to fire weapons at lowest settings. In 3, 2.
Shoot the son of a bitch, says Chief Sir. Kronos is lolling. Wesley says you missed. It was a warning.
And weapons test appears to be successful, Base. We succeed. Wait. Was BIRDOPREY on that ship? Wait, I think I see a life pod out there. BIRDOPREY, can you hear me? BIRDOPREY, are you okay? No! God damn it! Are you crying, Bird? Why do you hate me? I'm not crying. I've got soot in my eyes.
And there it is. The first successful weapons test of the TRD Goliath. So I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed watching Bird explode. So now Thomas mentions, yes, I do. Speaking of BIRDOPREY, he sent me a little something. So I have a sneaking suspicion what it is. Now you can see the envelope is still sealed. I haven't, it's from Amazon, but it says I could feel like it's about the size of a DVD. So I'm guessing possibly the Deep Space Nine documentary, in which case I'm very much looking forward to seeing it, but I don't know for sure. Let's find out and open this up. Keep it down below the camera in case it's something that I can't show. And yes, it is in fact the Deep Space Nine What We Left Behind documentary. Thank you so much, Bird. I really, really do appreciate this, because I was going to get this myself. So thank you. And so I am very much Mrs. Anti-Checker. Deep Space Nine is her second favorite Star Trek show, so I'm sure she will be willing to watch this one with me. And we'll put that over here for right now. Again, thank you, Bird. I truly, truly appreciate it. Rock Solid said thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Anti-Checker says hi to Dr. Alex. Mrs. Anti-Checker, you know you're not allowed to talk to Dr. Alex. And then, let's see. Life with Matthew should get a free super chat for his heroic actions. That's true. Life of what Matthew, if you are here right now, I didn't see your name pop up in the chat, but if you are here right now, let me know, Life with Matthew, and I will, in fact, give you a free super chat for your heroic actions in Space Engineers today. Dr. Alex is having a terrible connection. Oh, I'm so sorry. And so BIRDOPREY saying, wow, yeah, I know you didn't realize I caught all that on film, but sorry. Multi-Gunman says, how's it going? I'm hanging in there. Mr. Wolverine says, wonderful. Thanks, I guess. Dr. Alex says, Anti-Checker, Mrs. Anti-Checker just messaged? Okay. I don't know anything about that, but if she did, she might have something she needs to tell you. And Roxanne says, I needed that. I'm glad it helped. Commander Sutter says we're going to need a larger ship. Yeah, I was debating about actually showing that because now you guys know how big the Goliath is, and I might have to completely revamp it. KG313 says down with Caroga. Agreed. BIRDOPREY says nope, it's midget porn. Okay, doesn't look like midget porn. Jason says I still like the short version of Bird getting exploded. Yeah. Well, that still shows up every time you do a super chat. Although, now let me ask you: do you like the flames shooting up when he explodes? Because I was thinking about redoing the little super chat animation to have the flames in it. Actor says the second successful test. If you haven't have seen Cinnabon's video, well, except Cinnabon's video was of a actually it's the unfinished ship. In fact, this one's not even finished. But the ship that Cinnabon was fighting was a copy of what the ship was when we had the server problems before, because I gave him the blueprint from it at that point. The ship has been changed since then and will continue. I was actually meeting with Chris and Thomas earlier today talking about what we're going to do to improve the ship moving forward. Mr. Captain says, new glasses or Caroga lens correctors? No, these are new glasses. I would never get Carogan glasses because Carogan glasses, you can always identify them because right in here there's a little sharp spike that digs into your skull. BIRDOPREY says it's midget porn in the DS9 DVD box. Well, then you're a complete jerk. Multi-Gunman says, I'm watching from my iPad. The computer is at the shop getting fixed, needs a new screen and repairs to the hard drive. That sucks, and I'm assuming it's a laptop since you said needs a new screen, and I certainly hope that it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, maybe just a finger or two to get it fixed. Mercer says Marvel wanted out. They led the Spidey franchise to $1 billion. They had to establish and manpower to films that are not theirs. Mercer, I know that's the official line from Disney is that they don't want to pump efforts into franchises they don't own. I think the truth is they just want to be able to make some money because 5% is nothing. And if they're footing a good chunk of the bill, they should be making more than 5%. Now, I'm not taking sides in the negotiations because I wasn't there. I don't know exactly, but it just seems like, whatever they're telling us the reason for the breakdown in the talks, I don't buy, because these companies lie about everything, especially movie production companies. They always lie about anything to save face and to try and let the other person save face. They're not going to tell us the truth. We all know Caroga works with the space pirates. Well, we know now that BIRDOPREY was actually on a space pirate ship. Jason says the flames are epic. Okay. Thomas says it's okay, Checker. They haven't seen the other two battleships. Well, that is true. They have not. And let's see. That's a cute little ship you got there. It'll almost be a shame to see it burn. Wow, Resolute. Wow. That's just harsh. Darren is in the house, says, Anti-Trekker, greetings to all the anti-trekkers out there in Anti-Trekkerville, in Anti-Trekker land on the continent of North Anti-Trekker and ruled by the Anti-Trekker. Every single instance of you putting Anti-Trekker in that chat is highlighted in orange. So I wish you could see it, but it's like your half of what you typed is highlighted in orange. It's kind of funny. And Hector says, Thomas Potts, that explains why a couple of pirate ships were near Caroga for a week. Yeah. They were just visiting their home base. Let's see. Thomas wants to know, what deck should the swimming pool be on? Actually, I'm thinking, Thomas, that we should probably put the swimming pool on deck 137. That just seems like a good spot because it's about, a third of the way down the ship and a good place where and near all the crew resort area, so it lets them relax. Dr. Ox says, I mean in the chat, you said she wasn't here. Did I say? No, I meant she wasn't physically here, Dr. Alex. She is not here at the house. She is out. Joshua goes to a thing every Thursday night, and Mrs. Anti-Trekker drives him there, and then while he's in his thing, then she is watching the live stream on her phone, which is what she's doing this very, very moment. BIRDOPREY is evil. He killed Sassy's stream. She tried to run a little over an hour ago. Wow, BIRDOPREY, that's kind of that's a jerk move there. The anti-cam is looking good. She needs a 24/7 live stream YouTube channel. You would really, you know what? The funny thing is, I could probably do that and actually have the channel get like 1 million subs. And that would be like the entire channel would just be her sleeping pretty much all the time. Let's see. They want to part control and Sony won't give it up. I know, but that's what the thing is. I don't take anything you find out about this whole negotiation with a grain of salt, Mercer. We are never going to know what really went on behind the closed doors, and I don't care. I would like Spider-Man to be in the MCU though, and so we all lose on the deal. And honestly, what I'm really pissed off about more than that is the news, and I haven't been able to confirm it. I've seen it in a few articles, but I don't know if it's confirmed from Marvel. And Jason, thank you.
Got him! Great hit! Don't get cocky.
Just like to see Bird explode. Yobi 2 now. Pick 2. Well, all right. I will pick 2. Give me just a second, and I will pick 2. But I was going to say, I think it's a bad move to drop Spider-Man, but the thing I'm really upset about is the idea that Ethan Peck is going to play Reed Richards in the MCU. That's what I've heard. I don't know how much truth there is to it. And if that is true, I'm out. I'm completely done. I am so pissed off at that. Why? Because Reed Richards is Marvel. Have you ever looked at your own damn comic books? Reed Richards has gray hair. All right? Ethan Peck is not old enough to play Reed freaking Richards. He's not, I mean, honestly, he's got the right general look, like his face and everything, and the type of hair that he has, but he needs to wait about 20 years unless he only shows up in flashbacks. So I'm so pissed off about the idea that Ethan Peck would be playing Reed Richards. They made the mistake of casting Reed Richards twice with an actor that was too young for the role. And now they're doing it a third time, and this isn't even Fox doing it this time. So that pisses me off. All right, so get back to the chat. Okay, so Jason needs me to pick a couple. So first of all, I will play my personal favorite. I do love that one. Now I'm going to pick one at random. I don't know which one this is.
Okay, Dad, let me get this helmet on here. And...
F*** you, Luke Skywalker. Lousy and great. Hate that kid.
There we go. A classic. All right, so let's get back to the chat. Maester Alex is here. Says, hello, long time no see. Absolutely. I say the Spider-Man thing is Sony having a good idea that they see that Disney is in trouble with the trade commission and they need Spider-Man. I doubt that. I think that it's just the simple case that Hollywood studios are run by 5-year-olds. BIRDOPREY says, the Stream Deck is awesome. Only problem I expected it would put up the confirmation screen when I hit the stream button, but it didn't. It started streaming immediately. Oops. And I actually don't use the Stream Deck to start the stream. I click on it in XSplit, so I didn't know about that. And BIRDOPREY, Edgechecker has families on his ship. He's a monster. Actually, no, we don't have families on the ship. We have full recreational facilities just for our crew. I've seen reports that they weren't even getting 5%. They were just getting the merch money and production costs. Exactly. And I agree. I think that, the 5%, if that is the case, that's still way the hell too low. I'm sorry, but considering that Disney's footing the bill, and basically they salvaged the Spider-Man franchise basically for Sony, I don't think that 50% is an unreasonable demand. However, that's only what we know and what's been released, and the information is changing constantly, and everybody's talking about rumor this and rumor that about, ooh, we have some super secret source that says that this person or that person is being a jerk about it. I don't know. I'm just disappointed that Spider-Man will, unless they stop acting like infants, that Spider-Man will be out of the MCU. That is bad news to me. And Darren thinks that Sony's antics may embolden Universal to pull Hulk from the MCU and get a proper Hulk film starring Edward Norton. No, that will not happen. First of all, even if Universal did pull Hulk and try to do a proper Hulk film, they wouldn't get Edward Norton. They would probably cast, I don't know, it's Universal, so I'm going to say Vin Diesel. So let's see. Darren says the anti-channel would actually be an interesting experiment. It would be, but I don't know that anybody would really care to watch anti-sleeping all day. But who knows? We may do something like that. Multi-Gunman says there are no Carogan pirate ships. There are legitimate businessmen conducting commerce. Turtistanians have been slandering our good name. Oh, I'm sorry, Multi-Gunman. Right. When Sony screws up Spider-Man, they will figure it out the hard way. Yeah. And Aaron says, hey, we get some Space Engineers tonight or just general conversation. Actually, this is not going to be a particularly long stream because me and Miss Sandtracker got to get up very early tomorrow for a doctor's appointment that actually, surprise, surprise, is not me. It's Mrs. Anti-Trekker. So, no, I'm not going to be up late. And if I get into Space Engineers, I'll take 3 hours to get done with it. I'm thinking about doing an extended stream, though, playing some Space Engineers possibly tomorrow night. So we can kind of, I'll show off the Goliath and we'll test it out a little bit. I see. No mead for you today then. No, unfortunately, Dr. Alex, we need to catch you on a evening stream, which is usually this time on a day other than Thursday, because Thursday Miss Anti-Trekker ain't here. Sci-Fi Sith says, hello there. Hey, Sci-Fi, hope you're doing well. Aaron says that Ethan Peck rumor will prove to be just that. They aren't that stupid. I hope that you are right, Aaron. But here's the thing. I can see the logic in trying to cast Ethan Peck. Because for those of you that don't care about Mr. Fantastic or anything, well, Ethan Peck, if you look at his standard headshot here, where is it? I just had it on the screen. There it is. And the game button, there it is. All right, so there's Ethan Peck up in the corner of the screen there. That is his headshot. If you look at that, his hair, the shape of his head, everything about him screams Reed Richards. That's actually a pretty darn good approximation of what Reed's face looks like. The problem, though, is that it's about 20 to 30 years too young. And in fact, like if you look at his grandfather, Gregory Peck, looks more like Reed Richards than Ethan does. And so I would love to see Ethan play Reed Richards in about 20 years. However, today, heck no. But Reed Richards should be played by someone who is at least in their mid to late 40s and looks it. And so yeah. Sorry. It just pisses me off. All right, and Mr. Cap says, I read John Krasinski, Jim for The Office, was pegged to play Reed in Fantastic Four. I heard that one too, and that one I'm very much against as well. I think John Krasinski is a horrible pick. actually. Ethan, at least I could see him playing Reed if he was just older. If RDJ wasn't already Iron Man, I could see him as Reed. I could, but the problem is that Robert's cavalier attitude that he tends to inject into his characters is perfect for Tony Stark, not so much for Reed. How do you feel about George Clooney for Reed Richards? I could actually see George Clooney playing the part. I wouldn't mind that. As long as he wasn't playing George Clooney. And so, Macer, I think that actually, like if he was sitting there, hi, I'm Reed Richards, that kind of thing. No. But if they could get him to basically be an absent-minded professor, I think that he could be really good. Darren says, yeah, Ethan Beck isn't old enough to play Reed Richards. John Hamm, as everybody knows, is my pick. A nerdy Don Draper from Mad Men is what we need. Him and Howard Stark, think of it. I could see John Hamm doing it, yes. Jay said, the second one made you laugh. Oh, very cool. I'm glad you liked that one if you haven't seen it before. Ensign Mount, it's not Ensign Mount, it's Anson with an A. Mount would be the right age. Yeah, Anson Mount would actually make a good Reed Richards. I didn't even think of him, but he really would. If you look at, let me see. Let me find a good picture of Anson Mount here. So actually, yeah, if you look at this image of him, you can see he's got a significant amount of gray in his hair. And so I absolutely do think that he would make a much better Reed Richards. What I don't want is, hey, let's just spray paint some silver in his hair and call it a day. No. Nice and crowded in here tonight. You keep growing and you won't be able to read all the comments like you do now. Well, you know what? I doubt that, Aaron, because I never draw the kind of crowds that like Nerdrotic or Doomcock do. So I wouldn't worry about that for some time. And if I did have that many people on there, I'd just probably be live streaming more often because I'd probably be doing nothing but YouTube and not worrying about a regular job once I'm done with my doctor stuff. Darren says, but he already played Black Bolt. So what? Chris Evans already played the Human Torch. Chris says, I recovered Bird's body and sent it back to Caroga, but it was returned because everybody already defected. Yes, that is probably true. Jay says Christopher Walken. Now, Christopher Walken, I love Christopher Walken. His quirkiness is awesome, but I think he's honestly a little too old. 50% is 10 times more than the earlier deal, plus they want control. Well, here's the thing about control. Right now, Marvel has proven that they can make Spider-Man work. Sony has proven that they can't. And in fact, I think it was Midnight's Edge that pointed out, and it was brilliant to talk about this, is that people say, well, wait a minute, Sony made Spider-Man 2, the one with Doc Ock, and that was a freaking awesome movie, so obviously Sony can make good Spider-Man. Except that is the wrong answer. Sam Raimi made Spider-Man 2. When Sony stepped in and actually started injecting into the Spider-Man franchise what they wanted, we got Spider-Man 3. And then we got The Amazing Spider-Man. And The Amazing Spider-Man wasn't horrible, but it was a mess. And that's the problem, is that Sony, notice they did the same thing twice, where they over-cluttered the film with various characters, underdeveloped those characters. I mean, the Rhino was a freaking joke in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, yeah. No, thank you. Darren says, there were some things about the MCU Spider-Man I didn't care for. I didn't like that he was second fiddle to Iron Man. In the comics, he stands on his own from the very beginning. I can understand that. I mean, they did make some changes from the comics, but I think that his character made sense. Chief says, I wish this would happen to CBS and Viacom, Paramount. They could get Star Trek back. I wish this would happen to CBS and Viacom, Paramount. They could get Star Trek back. Well, except that Paramount and CBS are now going to be under the same umbrella. So theoretically, Star Trek could go back to Paramount, but it doesn't matter. And this is something people don't understand. Paramount is not a person. All right. The people that made Star Trek great in the 80s and early 90s are not the people running the company now. And so just because Viacom is reacquiring everything under one roof does not mean it's going to be freaking awesome. So we'll see. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to watch tomorrow night's stream. I'm sorry, Thomas. That sucks. Thomas, when Sony and Disney don't get a deal that works for both us, like Spidey will be going away for a good long while. Jay says, To Kill a Mockingbird, epic movie. Yes, Atticus Finch is one of my favorite heroes in all of cinema. I absolutely love that film. Darren says, people forget that for so many years, the Hulk was Marvel's greatest success when it came to translation to the screen. That is true. Dr. Alex says, so could I play Reed Richards? Absolutely not. Number one, Reed is definitely not English. Number two, you have a very boyish look to you, Dr. Alex, and so I don't think that would be a good fit. Also, you're blonde, if I remember correctly, which is also not a good fit. Tentacle says they could put aging makeup on him, but it's more likely it's going to be a CW teen movie. But that's, yeah, exactly, Tentacle. And the thing is, they've done it twice now, trying to say, ooh, the kids will want him to be young. But no! And in fact, here's a picture of Anson Mount as Pike. But look at that picture. I know it's a little small. Let me see if I can zoom in on it a bit. I don't like the new way that Chrome displays images. It's kind of wonky, but let me see. Zoom in on it a bit. Look at that. That is freaking Reed Richards right there. All you need to do is remove the Delta Shield, put a 4 on his chest, and you got Reed Richards. That is Reed Richards right there, folks. Right freaking there. And I'm sorry. That is the perfect Mr. Fantastic right there. I can't believe I didn't even think of Anson Mount until someone mentioned it just a few minutes ago. But, I mean, he's even got the same outfit on, except get rid of the stupid piping on it. But, yeah. It hurts me that Anson is not even being talked about. Anyway, Ed Trigger, it's so sad to see the MCU going woke. Well, at least we got over 10 years of amazing to okay MCU movies. Now that it will crash and burn. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I hope it doesn't crash and burn, but yeah, I kind of get that feeling. I could see Colin Firth playing Reed. I could see it, but I think Anson is the best fit of anybody we talked to. Darren says, I would also accept David Tennant as Reed Richards. The only way Ethan Peck would work for me is if he had age makeup and acted older. Yeah, I don't see Ethan working. David Tennant, a little slight a build for Reed, but I could see it. And I haven't, and so honestly, I'm not a huge David Tennant fan, so I haven't seen him do a good American accent. I don't know if he can. Darren says, enter. Hi, Doom, I'm fantastic. That's what Clooney Reed would say. Yeah, exactly. If they did that, the Clooney Reed would be out the door. I could see Anti-Checker playing The Thing. Actually, I think BIRDOPREY should play The Thing. BIRDOPREY would make a great Thing. And I'm not saying that just to pick on BIRDOPREY. But if you look at Ben Grimm, he does kind of look like BIRDOPREY before he transformed. And Bird's got that wonderful New York attitude and voice, and that's something that Ben needs. If he would stay off the drugs and not be crazy, what about Charlie Sheen? I could actually see Charlie Sheen, but yeah, the problem is he is crazy and on drugs. Hector says, in recent years, Fantastic Four rebooted as young, and that's why they are young in the crap-tastic last movie.
I
Yes.
got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
And Jason throws $5 in. Thank you so much, Jason. I'll get to your chat in just a minute because it went by too fast for me to read while I was on the screen. Darren says, Aaron Trigger, when are your Patron streams? I haven't seen one in months. When Chris Evans played the Human Torch, the FF wasn't in the MCU. Anson Mount's Black Bolt was in Marvel's television. Not the same. Well, first of all, the television shows produced by CBS are not considered part of the MCU. They are licensed separately. Second of all, the Patron streams have not been happening lately because I've been hurting too much and just haven't have the energy to do them. But that's going to change very, very soon. I'm hoping on Monday I talked to the surgeon. I'm hoping that we're going to schedule the date for my knee replacement and get this done. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's on me 100%. Darren says, I rather like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man film. Sally Field was excellent. Her performance made my mom cry. I liked Andrew Garfield better than Tobey Maguire, but I liked the Spider-Man films better than the Amazing Spider-Man films, if that makes sense. I also do think that while I think Sally Field was okay as Aunt May, I still prefer Aunt May from the Tobey Maguire film. She was Aunt May. God shouldn't just take Star Trek away from God should just take Star Trek away from both Paramount and CBS and give it to me. Me! Hello, Star Trek! Halibut! I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so let's see. Dr. Alex is frowning for some reason. I don't know why. Hector says, did you see any line? Okay. Sorry, that was about the Space Engineers game today. All right. Darren says, the new style of Google Images isn't a Chrome thing. It's a Google thing, and it does that on Mozilla, too. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't like it. Not at all. Aaron says, hey, Tricker, you're right about the Paramount-CBS merger. The best we could hope for is a disco movie. Yay, or possibly a CBS miniseries coming TNG, DS9, Voyager cast for one grand finale. Yeah, I honestly, yeah, the problem is that people confuse the company with the people. Tom says, Lore as Reed Richards and Foley as the Human Torch. That would be freaking hilarious. I would pay money to watch that. Jason threw $5 into the chat. Thank you, Jason. Says, burn, BIRDOPREY, burn. Here's $5 to see another awesome Andy Trekker animated short of Bird getting effed up. LOL. And some out for the role of Reed. Much love, Andy Trekker. Thank you, Jason. So, which one specifically? Did you want that new one again? The one where we just saw Bird burn to a crisp? I just want to make sure I don't read too deeply into what you type. But thank you so much. I do appreciate your generosity, and let me know for sure if that's the one you want. And if it is, just so you know, that one is UBERCHAT number 12. David Tennant can fake a good English accent, so why not a U.S. one? Well, actually, that's a fair point, Dr. Alex. I know he's faked a good English accent. However, I've just not heard him do an American accent. And it's just like with anything else, some accents are easier than others to do depending on where you are. For example, and this is something, I can't remember the guy's name, but the dude that was starred in True Blood as the main vampire dude, I can't even remember his name now. But he didn't even know he was English. I thought he was from Louisiana with his accent. But he actually talked about in an interview how it's very easy if you're English to do a Southern U.S. accent. It's much easier to do that than a quote-unquote standard American accent. Let's see. Thomas says, if George Clooney plays Reed Richards, will the camera zoom into his butt when he puts his suit on? Probably. Bird is the Watcher. Now there's some genius casting. Thomas, let's see. I already read that. Oh, and Wesley says, I'm here. No, is as crazy. No one is as crazy as Alexander. That is true. All right, so Jason, here we go.
This is Andy Trekker aboard the Goliath. Please confirm that we send communication ships to anybody in the area so that they would know not to be in their ships right now. Thank you, base. We're going to commence with weapons test.
I left the chips on your ship? What chips? What's a chip? You left chips on the ship. I don't even know what the hell a chip is.
Roger, base. This
You
is
mean like
Andy Trekker
computers?
in the Goliath, ready for weapons test.
I don't see anything on the ship. Am I missing something? Oh, right there. I am missing something. What the hell is that?
Roger, base. Preparing to fire weapons at lowest settings. In 3, 2.
Shoot the son of a bitch, says Chief Cook. Kronos is lolling. Wesley says you missed. It was a warrant.
And weapons test appears to be successful. Base, we succeed. Wait. Was BIRDOPREY on that ship? Wait, I think I see a life pod out there. BIRDOPREY, can you hear me? BIRDOPREY, are you okay? No! Ah! God damn it! Are you crying, Bird? Why do you hate me?
got soot in my eyes.
There you go. I do love that one. I have to say that came together perfectly. And Thomas says, every time I hear Aunt May, I hear naked Aunt May. Yes. You know, Alexander's done that to me. Yes. That's, yeah. And Hector says, congratulations, Wesley. You're in the 99 percentile then. Yes, if you're not as crazy as Alexander. Well, actually, it's more than 99. It's 99.9997, I believe. There's only one person as crazy as Alexander, and that is Alexander. Number 2 is Enderman of Doom, but he hasn't been around much lately. Jason Leaks is laughing and says, yes, the new one. Vile Mike says, howdy. Hey, Vile, I hope you are doing well. I hope the Vile child is doing well as well. Darren says, hey, Trigger, who would you actually cast for Ben Grimm human form? It would be hard to beat Chickless. It would be very hard to beat Chickless. Honestly, I can't think of an actor off the top of my head that would be better than Chickless. If I could, I would recast Chickless. He was perfect as Ben Grimm. Typing on my phone with one hand sucks. I agree. I've tried to do that and I suck at it. Aaron, Auntie is so, that freaking Auntie is so cute. And I just realized the anti-cam is actually off kilter a little bit. Let's fix that. There we go. I think David Tennant uses American accent in Jessica Jones. You know, I haven't watched Jessica Jones season 1 in so long. I can't remember if he used his English accent or an American accent. She was yawning. That's why I said that. Very, very cool. Yeah, she is an adorable dog. She really is. And let's see. Hello, everyone, says John DeMarco. Hey, John, good to see you, my friend. And let's see. Oh, well, maybe it could be an American raised in Scotland. They could do that. And Resolute said he tried to. It didn't go well. You see, I'm trying to remember. I know there's a reason I'm thinking David Tennant would be a bad choice, and that's probably it. Tiki says, damn turdies. What? What are you talking about? Aaron says, best animation ever. Thank you, my friend. LOL, Trigger. What wasn't a good weapons test? Bird had time to get to the escape pad. What? Well, notice, Josh, we did say the weapons were set to the absolute lowest level possible. We were just trying to test the targeting systems more than anything else, not the destructive yield. Oh, I just noticed the thumbnail. You got What We Left Behind. Watch the founder first. Watch the founder first. Okay. Not sure what the founder is. That like a chat, something on the disc? I haven't actually looked at anything on the disc yet. So let's see, but I'm very much looking forward to it. When was that recorded? The Goliath shooting another ship. Wesley, that was recorded earlier today. That was actually, the funny thing is, the audio of Bird of Prey talking about the chips was actually on that recording. If I bring up the unedited recording that I captured today with using XSplit, let me, let's see, if we go to, there's XSplit recordings. And the last one, and open.
A Chief Coach is lolling at Josh. Joseph says, can you give a friendly middle finger in the game? I wish.
Bird of Prey right now. And if I
shoot the son of a bitch, says Chief Cook. Kronos is lolling. Wesley says you missed. It was a warning shot, Wes. Actor says the immortal Cinnabon.
So this
Josh
was the raw footage that I captured as we were, because basically what we wanted to do is test the weapons against a pirate ship.
Wesley says lots of lag, need more lag.
Of course, it only tested the forward weapons. It didn't and you can't really see the back of the ship in this. But
as one of those pesky Stark kids.
And but as we were
shoot,
flying around, and Bird was streaming, and I had Bird on streaming on another monitor on my computer, and the audio just picked up everything.
Don't get carjacked, Bird. He can't fly it. He's not part of the faction. I mean, I guess he could use some.
And you can see, I actually recorded for a couple of minutes. I wasn't even thinking about using the audio from this, which is why I didn't care about that.
Weld it, and
you see, we're like 6 kilometers out from the pirate ship here. If we fast forward, now we're about 1 kilometer away.
Thanks for the inventor.
That's where we're actually in firing range.
Says Kennewick. Don't know what was an actual song. That song
we
is
made
always
very
on my
short
mind,
work
just like
of that.
Anti-Tracker.
I mean, if you can
Chief
take a look
Cook
here.
is again telling me
So
to kill him.
the missiles, the
Yellow says
forward-facing
use
missiles start
sound
firing,
use sound hound to find out
and
what the
the
song
ship is pretty much already
Chief
gone.
Cook is
and
going,
see, they stopped firing because
Wesley says,
the
what
ship's already
song?
destroyed.
Actor says, what's a chip? Wesley says,
Now, I don't know
is
how
the
big one of
space
those
box.
pirate
And
freighters
Cinnabon
is,
says, on the
but
front gun.
I was very proud
Actor
of it.
says, why is chip? Yosen says, Wesley's.
All right. So those nose screams was Joe landing Carogan style 145 meters per second on a borrowed 90. Actually, the nose screams, Hector, was from his Besieged video. So let's see. And Vile says, why, thank you, Anti-Trigger. You're more than welcome. And Aaron says, I'm more interested in who will be the new Professor X and company. I'm curious about that as well, but I honestly, Aaron, I don't think they're going to... I think Marvel has lost its mojo, quite frankly. It looks like they're all excited about going woke. They think that that's going to be the future. The future is female. And Alexander is here!
I got him! Great hit! Don't get cocky.
And Alexander says, I am not a troll. I'm a real Anti-Tracker fan. I know you are, Alex. Or Alexander, I should say. Alex is Dr. Alex. But no, I never accused you of being a troll. Just crazy. And I love you, man. And that's okay. And you know what? There's a lot of crazy in the nerd community. There truly is. And that's okay. That's what makes us the real deal. That's something that these idiots on these shill channels like Watch Mojo and Looper and all those guys will never, ever understand the nerd community. They ain't crazy. They ain't the outcasts. They ain't the real nerds. They're just people that say, oh, this stuff is popular now, so let's produce a video about it. And they have no clue. And while their channels are huge and commercially successful and all that, you know, the people there are just doing a job. Anyway, but welcome, Alexander, my friend. Let's see. Valor says it would be funny if, but there was a super chat that had the young May voice, and it cuts to a naked Lord. That's horrible. But oh, what I was to say, Aaron, is honestly, I think Marvel's lost their mojo. I think they're going to cast horribly for the X-Men for everything moving forward. I have a very bad feeling, and so, but we'll see. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Valor, so it would be funny, but there's I already read that. X-Men is the one I care about most. I understand that. I've been a Fantastic Four fan for my entire life, so I gotta say I'm really pissed off about the idea of them casting yet another young Reed Richards. Dr. Ox says currently in Taunton, Somerset, I think. This train's journey is so long. Well, I have no idea where Taunton, however you say that is, but I hope that you manage to get home soon. And Darren says, see, I want the Fantastic Four to go into space in 1961 and return to present day. I want them to be from the 60s, so all their tech looks retro hairstyles too. I agree, Darren, and I don't know if you, oh, The Founder is the movie, I'm sorry. I first, Darren, I am so sorry. I completely spaced it. I thought, when you said The Founder, I thought you meant like as in the Founders. So, I apologize. And Alexander throws another $2 in, says, Mod Emperor absent suspended me in Discord. Oh, no! Well, I don't know what happened, Alexander, but, you know, if the mod suspended you, I don't know what happened, and but I will talk to him to see. But the problem is that if you broke the rules on the server, you get suspended for a brief time. And I know that there was one point, and I can't remember the details of it, but one of the mods asked me about something that you said. They showed me a clip of it. I said, well, if he continues that, you know, suspend him briefly if you warn him. So make sure you're paying attention. If the mods tell you, hey, that ain't cool, don't do that, listen to them. But I am sorry, Darren, I that completely spaced out. But back to the topic. A few months ago, I did a video about how to bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU, and that's very much what I suggested. That you start the movie in the 60s, you have them launch into space, and then due to the time dilation, they get nearly to the speed of light. They're only gone for a period of a couple of days or whatever it is, but they come back in the modern MCU. But I am going to be watching The Founder hopefully this weekend, and I'm sorry that I haven't yet. It's just this, as you probably know, this week and last week have been refute with freaking doctor's appointments and crap up the butt. And, you know, like, I've gone to the doctor more times in the last 2 weeks than I think I have in the last 10 years. It's, yeah. Chief says, shoot the SOB. Yes, I did love that. And that was from you. That was a freighter, hardly a glorious battle. Well, it wasn't a battle, it was a test. That's all. Wesley says, Anti-Tricker, I'm at work for one day, and then there is an update, a battle, and a bird. I'm at work for one day, and there's an update, a battle, and a bird confused about chips. Yes. And by the way, Wesley, the new update is actually really cool. If you haven't had a chance to play in it yet, it's actually, I've only been on the game for a few minutes today. Actually, that was what I had recorded, and Thomas knows this. I mean, I went into the game for a couple minutes just to see if the update took, then I left, and then I came back in to do a pirate hunt real quick. We did that, and then I left again. So I haven't really been in the game much today, but you should check it out. Let's see. Aaron says, I want to see more of that ship. Hopefully it has a boss command center. Not yet. It's still under construction. The interior is very, very rough around the edges. But once it's done, yes, I will do a full tour of the ship on a live stream. I have to show you my new ship tomorrow, Anti-Trekker. I'll bet you will be able to tell the inspiration. Well, I can't wait to see it, Vile. And there's Alexander's super chat saying, I'm not a troll. I'm a real Anti-Trekker fan. I absolutely believe you. And there is another Alexander. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $2 every single time, and you are awesome. And I'll get to your chat in just a minute because I didn't quite catch it. Commander Sutter says, Ryan Johnson is the best thing that's ever happened to Star Wars. Disappointment and depression is exactly what good stories need. Wait, I'm in the hospital with a fatal head trauma. F you. You were making me worry there for a second, Commander. Chief Cook says he doesn't know what a chip is. That was funny. Yeah, it was, and I just figured I'd figure out a way to use that because he sounded so confused. Although, in fairness to Bird, while I was making fun of it, it is the chips that he was talking to is something new in the game. The chips didn't exist before today. The chips, there's a new device in the game that creates a safe zone in the game, and we're experimenting with it right now. It's actually a really cool idea because if you have a safe zone generator, then weapons and stuff will not work in the safe zone, which means that you can make your base 100% secure and not have to worry about the kind of crap that we've had happen before in the game. Assuming that the game's garbage cleanup doesn't delete your base, which has happened a couple times. But yeah, we'll see. Vile says, Hector, have you found the Raw? And Hector says, yes, it's 65 kilometers away. Oh, it's called the Raw? Then I'm guessing that it's inspired from SG-1. That'll be cool. The Goliath reminds me of Mad Max in space. Why is that? Marvel Comics has actually come up with a great idea. They're reprinting good comics from the 80s, ads and all, for sale in the mass market. Oh, that's cool. But they're desperate. Wesley says, oh, a pirate ship. Those are evil. Well, of course they're easy, but, you know, I didn't have any, you weren't in the game to test against your self-repairing behemoth of a ship. But the problem is, and honestly, Wesley, I'm a little nervous about actually testing it in a combat like that because your ship versus my ship, I'm confident that the Goliath would win the day. But I also am confident that your ship would do a whole lot of damage to the Goliath, and I would be really pissed if I lost the Goliath after all the work we put into it. Mr. Miles says, first, what have I missed? Well, you missed BIRDOPREY dying in space, Mr. Miles, but if somebody else does a $5 super chat, you might see it. But welcome, my friend. Jason says, gotta go. Out. All right, Jason, take care of yourself, and thank you for your generosity. You're awesome. Hector says it was going at 14 meters per second. Oh, you're talking about the other ship. Dr. Alex says, thanks, Anti-Tricker. No problem, my friend. Vile says, due to damage? Don't know. And Hector says, no ions in that side. Again, not sure what you're talking about. Miss Rouse says, nice glasses. Nerd! Jerk. And Dr. Alex says, got to duck out for a second. You're on a train. Where are you ducking to when you're on a train? How does that make any sense? And there's Alexander's comment about Mod Emperor Absinthe. So yeah, I would definitely, you know what you should do, Alexander, is if you don't know, because I don't, he should have told you why you got suspended before you did, but send him a message and ask him. Commander Sutter says, I have found the weakness to the Goliath. As the old saying goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall into a gravity well. Well, that's true. Gravity wells would be a very bad thing for the Goliath to be near, and we will not operate the Goliath near a planet. It's meant as a deep space vessel. It's not meant to be near a planet. So, yeah. It does actually have hydrogen engines on it in case it gets a little too close to a gravity well. But we don't want to take that chance. Caroga ships are easier. They can't beat mountains. That's true. Yeah, that's the deadly enemy of the Carogans is mountains. Aaron says, Entry, I hope to see some Space Engineers tomorrow, as you mentioned. Got to go, though. I hope Marvel hasn't lost it. Feige, we trust. Later all. Absolutely, Aaron. And I hope you're right about Marvel as well. The train inspector, you don't have a ticket. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. He's hiding in the toilet. So now we all know Dr. Alex, an actual doctor, is hiding in the toilet on an English train because he didn't want to spring for a ticket. Darren says, watch The Founder before lunch. It'll make you hungry. Well, the problem is before lunch tomorrow, me and Mrs. Antichecker are going to be running around because she's got her doctor's appointment and we got to go a couple places there. But I will try to, but, and I don't know if I would get hungry watching a movie about McDonald's. Because I will tell you, Darren, while I respect the McDonald's Corporation for what they've done, they're like my least favorite fast food. And there's Alexander's comment. He says, I want Punisher and Elektra in the MCU. I would not mind seeing both of them in the MCU. Not just the Netflix crap, but the actual proper MCU. That would be very cool. And Nightbreeze says, hi. Wesley, and by the way, welcome, Nightbreeze. Wesley says, Cinnabon and I did a test battle. The Lamore... I thought it was the Lagmore won both battles. I heard you won one and he won one. Surf says, LOL, I was pop in for interesting comments, safe zones, and Mad Max in space. Yes. And Ebony Crawford, my daughter extraordinaire, is in the house, says, hi, Dad. How you doing? I hope that you are having a good day. Ebony is, like me, really pissed off that Spider-Man is apparently out. The other battleships are for close to planet battles. The other ships Thomas, don't give them away too much, but yes, we have ships that are designed for gravity well combat and ships that are not. The Goliath is definitely not. And if you've ever played Space Engineers, if you build a big ship, you want to it's not meant to land on planets. It's just not. Dr. Alex says, had to duck out to release the last part of the final sortie vid.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky.
And Warbird donated $5 and wants the bird in space. You got it. Give me just a second, and I will play that. So apparently, YouTube lifts a block from copyright strike after 3 days if the claimant doesn't respond to a dispute. If you file a response to a copyright claim and the person who filed the copyright claim doesn't do anything, then yes, eventually. I thought it was more than 3 days, but eventually they lose because of not showing up. And Ebony says, McDonald's for life. Now, this is a true story. Ebony, who was the most adorable kid you ever saw when she was a little girl, would argue with me day and night when she was little, explaining to me that McDonald's is a 5-star restaurant because of how much she loved McDonald's. I don't like McDonald's. Their meat just doesn't taste good to me. I've never cared for McDonald's, but that's okay. Ebony loved McDonald's when she was a little kid, and she still does. So there is that. And by the way, a little bird told me that Ebony and Matt Gordon, who were both guests on my live stream when we were in Portland at the beginning of this year, will be coming out to visit us in a couple of months. And when they do, hopefully they will be able to be on the show once again. So, and now let us watch Bird burn one more time because that never gets old.
Hello, world.
Oh, what happened?
I got him!
Oh,
Great
that's...
hit. Don't get cocky.
Okay, Commander Shutter did a super chat. Thank you, Commander.
Base, this is anti-tracker aboard the Goliath. Please confirm that we send communication ships to anybody in the area so that they would know not to be in their ships right now. Thank you, Base. We're going to commence with weapons test.
I left the chips on your ship. What chips? What's a chip? You left chips on the ship. I don't even know what the hell a chip is.
Roger, Base. This
You
is
mean
an
like
anti-tracker
computers?
in the Goliath, ready for weapons test.
I don't see anything on the ship. Am I missing something? Oh, right there. I am missing something. Hello, world. What the hell is
I
that?
got him! Great hit.
Roger,
Don't get
Base.
cocky.
Fire weapons at lowest settings in 3, 2.
Shoot the son of a bitch, says Chief Cook. Kronos is lolling. Wesley says you missed. It was a warning.
And weapons test appears to be successful. Base, we success. Wait. Was BIRDOPREY on that ship? Wait, I think I see a life pod out there. BIRDOPREY, can you hear me? BIRDOPREY, are you okay? No! God damn it! Are you crying, Bird? Why do you hate me? I'm not crying. I've got soot in my eyes.
And there was the great weapons test with BIRDOPREY 5. And while that was going, Alexander put another couple of bucks in. Thank you, Alexander. Says Hooters is a 10-star restaurant. Great service. Why am I not surprised you would say that? Josh says hi to Mrs. Anti-Tracker. Hope you have a good night and your day tomorrow goes great. And it's sort of funny. So since Ebony is here, since Mrs. Anti-Tracker is here, if Joshua were not busy right now and logged into the chat, we would have the entire family. That would be bizarre and a first. BIRDOPREY says Caroga's big ship is perfectly capable in gravity. Bird, you are not capable in gravity, which you demonstrated today while taking one of your small ships for a little jaunt to get some ice, and you destroyed the ship. Wesley says the anti-tracker daughter is here. Yes, the anti-daughter, the anti-girl, and I don't know. Ebony, you need to come up with an anti-name. So Commander put in his $2. Commander Sutter, thank you again. If you want a super chat reward, make sure you tell me if you haven't already. BIRDOPREY, anti-tracker hates McDonald's. Anti-tracker hates America. Whatever. And Chief Cook says you skipped me again. It was not intentional, Chief. If I did, I am sorry. The chat was going a little faster than my old eyes can keep up with. Vile Mike says Vile Child also loves Mickey D's. Yeah. Daniel says, Anti-Tracker, I'm so sad that Sony pulled Spider-Man from the MCU. I am as well. Spider-Man was finally, in my opinion, cast perfectly with Tom Holland. By the way, if you haven't seen it, The Critical Drinker. And June, thank you so much.
I got him! Great hit! Don't get cocky.
June throws $2, 2 fake Australian dollars in there. Says, no, really, Hooters has great wings. I've heard that, but honestly, it's a little crass and tasteless, to be frank. I'm not interested in going to a place like Hooters, and there are good wings that are not Hooters. So, yeah. But Daniel, yeah, I think even though you and I disagree on a lot of stuff, Daniels, I think we would all agree that it's very sad that Spider-Man is getting pulled from the MCU, except for people who are jerks. Dr. Ox says, hey, Trigger, the dispute is still ongoing, but they lift the block aspect to make it free to view as the dispute continues to await claimant response. Gotcha. Yeah, they'll do that. When you file a dispute, then they will let the video be viewed until the dispute is settled. And I think they now have like up to 60 days or something to respond. And there is Alexander saying the Hooters is a 10-star restaurant. Crazy, crazy man. Commander, all Carogan ships can land on any landmass in tiny pieces. Sure, but hey, who's perfect aside from Mrs. Anti-Trekker? Your choice on Super Chat. Well, if it's my choice on Super Chat, I'm going to always pick my favorite. I do love that. I don't know why, but I think that is like Joshua's best work ever. Captain Foley is in the house. Good to see you, Captain Foley. As always, it looks like we got everybody here today. I tell you, Thomas says Foley because for some reason they do that. Daniel says, so either A, Spider-Man will stay in the MCU and he can't mention anything in the MCU, or B, Sony may reboot Spider-Man and have it in the Sony verse. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do yet, but I'm sad either way. Rocksaw says, just across the Kentucky-Tennessee state line approaching Clarksville. Wow, you're not far from me now, Rocksaw. If you come through Murfreesboro, let me know, and we'll grab a cup of coffee. Well, you probably don't have time. I don't know where you're going exactly, but if you, it's too bad the situation is what it is. I would love to meet up with you. And let's see, people saying hi to Captain Foley, of course. Always good to have a celebrity in the house. And Rocksalt says, don't forget, people, smash the like button, share via social, set chat to live, donate if you can, subscribe, turn your mic on before you stream. I need to remember that one. And down with Caroga. Josh Tree says, Captain Foley, who is this stranger to the stream? Yes, Captain Foley's been a very busy man lately, so good to see you, my friend. We need to record another video sometime soon, Trek Yards, especially with what's been going on lately. So I think that I really do think we need to do some. Captain Who, never heard of him. No, it's Doctor Who. Captain is Foley. Nightbreeze says, let's mourn with Spider-Man as he once again must deal with the sudden loss of his Uncle Ben. Yes. I remember, that's what I was going to say. By the way, Ebony, if you're still watching, I think I told you about this last night, but I want to reiterate. If you have not seen it, the Critical Drinker did an absolutely perfect commentary on the Spider-Man thing when he talked about how Tom Holland was so horribly miscast and nobody liked Spider-Man anyway. It was just so funny. If you have not seen the Critical Drinkers video on Spider-Man leaving the MCU, you absolutely owe it to yourself to watch. It's a good laugh in a sad time. Let's see. Chief Cook says Captain Foley is here. Yes. Josh says, Ebony, talking to Ebony, did you bring some of the good stuff with you for your dad? Now, first of all, even if she did, I would tell her never to tell anyone. But no. She's not here right now. She's in Oregon. So she's 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 miles away. I don't know, something like that. And Ebony's got to go, but says hello to everyone. All right, babe. Babe. Pumpkin is Ebony. Babe is Mrs. Anti-Trigger. Sorry, Ebony. Have a great night, and I hope you and Matt have fun doing whatever you guys are doing tonight. Dr. Alice says, so it turned out naming a ship the Crashy was right after all. Yes, the Crashy. That's what I think Bird should name all of his ships from now on. And Ebony's going to go get some McDonald's. Of course you are. Trek Yards saying hi to everybody that's been saying hi to Trek Yards. Dr. Alex says hello and goodbye. Hey, Dr. Alex, bad enough you're hitting on my wife. You can't have my daughter, too. And Thomas had McDonald's for dinners. I'm sorry. Darren said, I've had Hooters wings. They're huge. Okay. And Miss Sanctuary said, bye-bye, baby. Ha, ha, ha. Enjoy. Not sure what you mean there exactly, but if you're leaving, that I know that means that I have to finish up because you're going to be home in a minute. Chief Cook says, go to Outback Steakhouse. I do like Outback. Daniel says, but I got to say Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man ever. Agree to disagree on that one, Daniel. I think Tobey Maguire is number 3 on my list. Oh, Spider-Man. Okay, back to work for me. Have a good insert relative time here. Obligatory plug. Special guest on the next TOS review will be out by Sunday night later all. All right, Vile, take care of yourself. Alexander says, A&W is one of the greatest restaurants ever. Well, A&W is the best root beer. I will say that. And Trekcard says, by the way, Auntie, I want my plaque. I know you do. And you know what? As soon as I'm capable of operating that stupid 3D printer again, I'm looking forward to printing it. Darren says, in Wisconsin, we tend to prefer Culver's over all other burger restaurants. You know, we have a Culver's here, and Mrs. Anti-Trekker likes it a lot. Honestly, not the biggest fan, but maybe I'm just old. All right, so I'm going to quickly read just the ones addressed to me, and then I do need to wrap it up. So Mr. Wolverine says, Anti-Trekker absolutely loves number 23 and a bunch of heart faces. I do. I love 23. Wesley says, how's Rock Solid? Rock Solid has been in this chat, actually. You can ask him yourself, but he's hanging in there. He's on his way, I assume, to visit family, and I am truly sorry, Rock Solid, for your loss. Everyone just loves the Spock. I feel inadequate. Oh, you shouldn't feel inadequate, Mrs. Anti-Trekker, because you know they love you more. That's true. Absinthe and Fine Wine says, guess who it is? Me. I know. Shocking, isn't it? How are you doing today? T-Berg says, good evening. Helms Deep in computer upgrades. Remember, Captain Foley drinks Tim Hortons. Very true. Spinning, that's a good trick. Yes, indeed it is. Rock Solid says, heading to Hiawassee, Georgia. Well, I have no idea where that is. But you know what? Honestly, Rock Solid, now, if you're taking, and I don't know the route you're taking, but if you're taking 24 through Tennessee, you will pass right through the city I live in, Murfreesboro. Obviously, right now, you need to get down to your family and deal with all that. But on your drive back, let me know if you can squeeze out a little bit of time, and if I'm not at a doctor's appointment or something, we'll at least like hang out at a Starbucks or something and get a cup of coffee. So seriously, Rock Solid, let me know. Let's see. Commander Foley, what would happen if a Genesis device was detonated inside a black hole? Well, I would speculate that the Genesis effect would in fact work on a black hole, and you would end up with a massive life-supporting planet, probably. And Alexander's saying that Final Frontier is a masterpiece because, Alexander, you are crazy. Daniel says, now that Sony has Spider-Man back and Marvel cannot use him, the rumors of Hugh Jackman being Norman Osborn will not happen. Well, I don't think that would happen anyway, to be honest with you. I think that would be horrible. Gary says, hey, Tricker, how old are you? I am 51. Mr. Miles says, a bird could name a ship's divine wind. I'm sure someone here will get the reference.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky.
And Alexander throws another couple of bucks in. I didn't catch the chat, so I will read it in a moment here. Nightbreeze says McDonald's sounds pretty good. Wesley says, no, don't end the stream. Wesley, I do have things I have to do. Texas Roadhouse has great steak at a great price. I actually like Texas Roadhouse. There is one here in Murfreesboro. They're not bad, but honestly, if you want a great steak, and I mean a great steak, the one place is my absolute favorite restaurant in the whole world is Sailor's Country Kitchen in Portland, Oregon. Holy crap, is that good. Now, second place would go to the Metropolitan Grill in Seattle, Washington. Third place is actually a chain of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. That's the order of my steaks. Rock Solid says Culver's is amazing. Yeah, I know. And now the rumors that Disney will get Hugh Jackman as Dr. Doom are way, way, way more likely. Hugh Jackman as Dr. Doom would be stupid. I'm sorry, Daniel, I love you, but I think that would be a stupid waste of Hugh Jackman. First of all, Dr. Doom needs to be played by someone who can do a convincing Eastern European accent. I don't know that Hugh Jackman can do that. And Ronald McDonald donated $1. A tasty cheeseburger for Auntie. And what's the Hypno Turd? I'll bring the Hypno Turd up in just a minute, Ronald. Funny that Night Breeze just said how McDonald's sounds good, and Night Breeze tends to donate $1 through the Streamlabs, and Night Breeze always asks for the Hypnoturd. So just saying, that's an interesting coincidence. But anyway, what I was going to say, Daniel, is I think that Hugh Jackman as Dr. Doom would be a waste of Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is one of those actors who has a very good presence, but if you can't see him, it's wasted. T-Berg says, Space Engineers, was the anti-server offline last night? I don't know about last night, but I know that they did put the new update in the game, and that caused some things. Plus, I know that Cinnamon took the server down briefly to add a mod to the game, or actually 2 mods. There's a speed mod and a paint mod that they added to the game. I don't know if that happens to be when you were trying to get in. So the server was taken down a couple of times in the last day, and that could have been it. When are you and Bird battling each other? Well, I don't know, Wesley. When is Bird going to actually build a ship capable of battle? Tom says, Foley should join us on Space Engineers. I would love to see Foley join us on Space Engineers. I don't know that he's a gamer, though. But Foley, if you're still here, if you play Space Engineers or are interested in Space Engineers, check it out. It's a fun game. It's like Minecraft in space. Alexander says, MCU at Main Naked. That is what we all want now. Rock Solid says, on 24 now. Yeah, 24 goes right through Murfreesboro. And so that's what I'm saying. On your drive back, I don't know how long you're going to be down there, but send me a if you're on my Discord, Rock Solid, send me a message on Discord or something, so we can try to arrange when, like, if we can make it work when you're coming back. And if I'm still off work and I haven't had the surgery, then heck, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning when you're passing through town, we'll go to Waffle House. That's cool.
Hello,
And Alexander wants Mrs. Anti-Trekker to play Dr. Doom. Alexander, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. And Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends will be the next movie. Yeah, I would not be surprised. Life with Matthew is here. Life with Matthew. Okay, just so you know, you get a free Super Chat reward because of what you did in Space Engineers today. But if you if you haven't seen it yet, if you're just joining the stream, there's actually a new Super Chat, or it's actually an UBERCHAT, but I'll let you have it as your free Super Chat if you want it, that documents the death of BIRDOPREY today. Gary says, hey, Checker, how are you? I'm hanging in there. I'm still hurting an awful lot, but I'm cautiously optimistic because we're getting very close to hopefully getting the surgery done. Absinthe says, we all know that Final Frontier isn't good. It's the Wrath of Khan or Undiscovered Country. Well, I happen to think the Wrath of Khan is the best of the movies. I sometimes switch back and forth to Undiscovered Country, but I really think Wrath of Khan is probably the best Star Trek adventure of all time. But you have to realize that Alexander is obsessed with Final Frontier. I'm not sure why. 51, that would make you close to age, an older brother or a younger uncle to me. I'm not sure quite how to take that, Mr. Wolverine. Alexander says, I'm so close to having all the Red Sonja comics in history. I'm sorry. Or should we all agree that it's First Contact? Absinthe, you're lucky I don't have the band hammer handy. And there's Alexander saying Miss St. Tricker should play Dr. Doom. Thomas says, didn't BIRDOPREY surrender in Super Chat? If so, he's lying. He did. Funny. What would you cast Hugh Jackman in the MCU? If I were going to cast Hugh Jackman in the MCU, honestly, that's a tough one. Because, I mean, he's so, a lot of people identify him with Wolverine. And even though I think he was not the best Wolverine because of his stature, that's what you think of when you think of, as you picture him with the hair and the mutton chops and all that of Wolverine. But honestly, I could see Hugh playing, I could see him playing Reed Richards, with a haircut. He looks like he could pull that off. But I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought. I don't know. While I think he could play Reed Richards, I think Anson Mount would be better. Let's see. LOL, that's awesome. I'd love to see it. All right, Matthew, we'll play it one more time in just a minute. Let me finish these chats, and then I'm going to play that, and also Alexander's favorite thing in the whole world. Roxanne, I'm on your Discord, probably driving back Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. Works still like to chat with Laura about divorce care too. Yeah, I understand, but absolutely. So let me know on Discord when you know, and we'll see if we can make something happen. And I'll ask Laura. I don't know what his schedule's like, but if he's free, maybe he can hang out with us too. Mr. Miles says, Answer, which company do you think is more likely to push the woke agenda, Sony or Marvel Entertainment? Disney tends to let Marvel do their thing. I think, well, Marvel is definitely heading in that direction, but I think Sony was already heading in that direction, so I would say Sony. Daniel says, MCU Spider-Man is front and center at D23. You should watch D23, Anti-Trigger. Well, that may be so, but it doesn't matter if the talks broke down.
Hello, world.
And Miles donates $1. Samantha versus from Bewitched versus Genie from I Dream of Genie. Interesting contest, but it's really that is an interesting one. But I would have to give it to Genie because Genie can cast her spells faster and seems to be a little bit more reliable with her magic. Hulk Hogan could play Doctor Doom. That would be wrong, Alexander. Valor says we always have a celebrity here. It's BIRDOPREY 5. Yes, that's true. Oh my God, I was thinking that myself, Hugh Jackman, can be Reed Richards. I think he could be, but you know, I also think that Anson Mount would be a better fit as Reed. And I see that this is Andrew, you're still there, so I haven't run out of time yet. So thank you. Absence says I would love to see Anti-Trekker play Dr. Doom. Interesting thought. But first, let's watch Bird of Prey. Okay, are you going to play or are you just going to pause there? Let's try that again.
This is Anti-Trekker aboard the Goliath. Please confirm that we send communication ships to anybody in the area so that they would know not to be in their ships right now. Thank you, base. We're going to commence with weapons test.
I left the chips on your ship? What chips? What's a chip? You left chips on the ship. I don't even know what the hell a chip is.
Roger, base. This
You
is
mean like
Anti-Trekker
computers?
on the Goliath, ready for weapons test.
I don't see anything on the ship. Am I missing something? Oh, right there. I am missing something. What the hell is that?
Roger, base. Preparing to fire weapons at lowest settings. In 3, 2.
Shoot the son of a bitch, says Chief Cook. Kronos is lolling. Wesley says you missed. It was a warning.
And weapons test appears to be successful. Base, we succeed. Wait. Was BIRDOPREY on that ship? Wait, I think I see a life pod out there. BIRDOPREY, can you hear me? BIRDOPREY, are you okay? No! God damn it! Are you crying, Bird? Why do you hate me? I'm not crying. I've got soot in my eyes.
So you'll see, Dr. Doom will take over. No, you see, I can't do Dr. Doom because I can't do an Eastern European accent, but I do love Dr. Doom. All right, so Leslie Neal could play Jean Grey. Well, she could definitely do Jean Grey better than Famke did. Jean, or the girl that, what's her name, that played her in the newer movies. Oh, she was horrible. Jean can't cast faster than Samantha. She has to fold her arms every time and nod. Samantha just has to twitch her nose. Well, except that move is faster than the tit, but I don't know, maybe, okay, well, it'll be an interesting battle. With all the food companies offering vegan options, Red Lobster has said, no, we serve real food, seafood, drool. I do like Red Lobster. And let's see. Daniel says, Hugh Jackman as Reed Richards, Andrew Garfield as the Human Torch, and Lore Reloaded as the Thing. I still think BIRDOPREY would make a better thing than Lore Reloaded.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky.
And Alexander says that the Victorian baboon woman could be the MCU Storm. I kind of doubt that. I do. I'm sorry. Sounds good, Andrew. We'll definitely let you know. Excellent, rock solid. But I hope your visit down there goes well. Wesley says this is fake news. Bird never bird it to space. Well, actually, Bird has been to space. He just doesn't survive very long. BIRDOPREY says, I see the Goliath's weak point is that it barely has enough power to power its engines. Actually, not true, Bird. And this is actually true. There are 4 large reactors aboard the Goliath, and only one of them actually had uranium in it. So it has plenty of power. But that was running off the batteries in one reactor. Spot's Family Restaurant always had good burgers, fries, and shakes. Never heard of them. And Alexander says, I can do an East European accent. Of course you can. You're Russian. You should be Dr. Doom. Whenever you get around to watching the DS9 doc, be sure to watch the deleted scenes as well. I absolutely will. And thank you again, Bird. I do appreciate it, even though you're an evil dictator. Could the BC-304 battlecruiser from Stargate, SG-1, or SG-A take on a Sovereign-class ship from Star Trek? Well, now, I haven't watched all of SG-1 yet, and I haven't watched any of SG-A yet. But, from what I've seen of the BC-304, I'm doubtful. The one advantage that the BC-304 would be is that it looks like Stargate Tech hyperdrive is faster than anything else. It's faster than warp drive. It's even faster than hyperspace from Star Wars, considering they can go to other galaxies in very short time and that kind of thing. So that's the one advantage they have, but I don't know of any other significant advantage that they have. And in fact, every other area, it seems like they don't have an advantage. I just saw the comics accurate Dr. Doom. Anti-Trekker is Doom. Wrong. The Caroga and Turnistan War is propaganda. No, the war is a war. Propaganda would be what you see on BIRDOPREY's channel. Are you talking about Sophie Turner from the last 2? Yes, Sophie Turner was horrible as Jean Grey. Absolutely horrible. And, man. And I'll tell you, the thing about Sophie Turner as Jean Grey is that she's just so bland and boring. And the stupid thing, now I haven't even seen Dark Phoenix yet, but the stupid thing is that, of course, in X-Men Apocalypse, we got Phoenix Ex Machina at the end because they couldn't beat Apocalypse, so they just had Jean suddenly get the Phoenix powers and wipe out Apocalypse. But then, in this movie, apparently, she gains the Phoenix powers. So how did she use the Phoenix powers before she had the Phoenix powers? Whatever, stupid thing. But, also, I don't like the fact, and this is not just these movies, but this has been going on for a while, ever since the X-Men cartoon in the 90s, and I'm sure in the comics before that. I hate the fact that they won't call her freaking Marvel Girl. Why the hell are they calling her Jean Grey? It makes no sense at all. Hey, look, it's Cyclops, it's Wolverine, it's Nightcrawler, it's Storm, it's Rogue, it's Jean Grey. Why does Jean, the only mutant in existence that doesn't have a mutant name? Sorry. Daniel says Burger King is the best. On that, Daniel, we can agree. Wasn't the Goliath the name of the semi of Garth Knight in Knight Rider? I understand, yes, that is in fact true.
I got him!
And Alexander with another $2 says, Asian Muslim wife born in the USSR is the best choice. I'm sure it is the best choice for you, but when is your Asian Muslim wife born in the USSR going to actually be with you? I'm not Russian. I lived 7 years in Russia. My English has been affected by that. Oh, okay, I thought you were for some reason, Alexander. Mr. Miles says the SG ships advance in each season. It depends heavily on which season of SG. By the end, those ships are a bit overpowered. Okay, so that's possible then. Thank you, Miles. I know you're the real expert on SG1 around here. So if that's the case, you know, if they get OP by the end of it, maybe they could take on a Sovereign class, but I haven't seen that yet. Todd says, Antitrigger, can a Caroga battleship beat an Enterprise shuttle pod? Absolutely not. Unless the Enterprise shuttle pod is the shuttle pod from the NX-01 Enterprise, and B is being piloted by a salamander baby of Janeway and Tom Paris, and C has the weapons and engines offline. Daniel says, hallowed are the Ori. Okay. Mrs. Antitrigger, I love Burger King. Daniel's hot tops. Yes, Mrs. Antitrigger, that is her favorite as well. In fact, me and Mrs. Antitrigger practically lived on Burger King when we were young. And Wesley, who is Marvel Girl? I hate you, Wesley. Marvel Girl is Jean Grey. And that was the name of her character before she became Phoenix, which was the awesome Phoenix Saga. But, you know, that's a whole other thing. Oh, and Night Breeze reminds me about the Hypnoturd. Thank you, Night Breeze. I absolutely forgot. My bad. Let me bring that up.
All hail the Hypnoturd. You must love the Hypnoturd. For the Hypnoturd is love. The Hypnoturd is life. The Hypnoturd is in you. Because the Hypnoturd is you. Bow down before the Hypnoturd. Give everything you have to the Hypnoturd. And remember to give the Hypnoturd your ATM card and pay. You can send that information and the card itself to P.O. Box listed in the description of this video.
Don't do that. That was just a joke. Thank you, Night Breeze. Stargate Origin, says Thomas, because he loves to piss off people. And Alexander says Colossus could play Doctor Doom in a movie. Well, he could, except that Colossus is Colossus. Dr. Alex says, wow, everyone's still here. What happened? Oh, nothing. I went on a couple of tirades, and I've been trying to sign off for the last 15 minutes and haven't gotten around to it. Wesley says, I thought Gray Jean was her code name. No, her birth name is Jean Grey. She became Marvel Girl when she joined the X-Men back in the 60s. Then I try to remember, Darren, if you're still here, I can't remember if it was the 70s or early 80s was when the Dark Phoenix saga happened. And Marvel Girl was mutated, became Phoenix, and then Phoenix became Dark Phoenix, and Dark Phoenix was killed. Now, later on, they retconned it that she survived that and all that typical comic book mumbo-jumbo. However, she was Marvel Girl and Phoenix. But then, after all this mess, when they brought her back to life and everything, all of a sudden they're calling her Jean Grey because I guess Marvel Girl isn't SJW enough. And I'm just, yeah. So that's the short version of what happened. Mr. Ronald said, Antitrigger, Burger King is the best breakfast, but otherwise they're just like any other fast food place, but the breakfast is great. They did have the best breakfast back in the 90s. Man, they had a bagel with steak that was so good, and they got rid of it. Their bagel sandwiches at Burger King were so off the chain good, and they got rid of it, which that pisses me off. However, I still think Burger King has the best burgers because that flame broiled taste, you can definitely taste the difference from McDonald's meat to Burger King meat, and the Burger King is clearly superior. Now, do I think Burger King is like the best burger ever? Heck no. But I do think that as far as fast food is concerned, they are pretty darn good. It's just a shame that they don't have really good French fries like Wendy's. Alexander says, who do you think the Victorian Baboon woman could be in the MCU? Rain. I think that she would be, because Rain is a werewolf, a female werewolf. Could Star Wars finally win against the Enterprise NX class? I assume that's what you mean. Star Wars SW. Is that what you mean? No. There's no Federation ship that a Star Wars ship could defeat as long as the Federation ship is armed. ATM card is 000 District 0. I assume you mean Destruct 0. Asgard ships versus Star Trek TNG ships. Well, the Asgard is a little different. The Asgard, and now I haven't seen the full extent of their weaponry, but what we've seen of the Asgard, they're pretty darn advanced. So I would probably have to give it to the Asgard, but I'd also have to really do a study of it to kind of try and gauge how powerful their weapons are. And I don't know if there's any time in Stargate where they talk about their weapons range or anything. So there was a good Captain Marvel, a boring Captain Marvel, and a Marvel girl. Yes. Well, there are actually a couple of good Captain Marvels. The first good Captain Marvel was Marvel, a male character who died of cancer. And then there was Captain Marvel Monica Rambeau, who was my personal favorite of the Captain Marvels. And Marvel Girl, who was, of course, the mutant Jean Grey. There was also, by the way, Miss Marvel, who was Carol Danvers before Carol Danvers became Captain Marvel. Chief Cook says, Bird, I got chip in my eyes. So let's see. Says Herman Schmeckelbeck's last name translates to Beck, meaning a flowing stream, and Schmeckel, which is Yiddish slang for a man's Johnson. Interesting. Did not know that. Mr. Mouse says, off the chain. LOL, your Californian is showing. Yeah, that's true. Burger King Eggnormous was freaking great. You got to go back further than that. And you know, the other thing that the Burger King ruined, and I loved it so much back in the day, was the chicken Italian. Oh, man, the chicken Italian was so good. It was their breaded chicken on the long bun with a bunch of marinara sauce, with mozzarella cheese, and it was so freaking good. And then when they brought it back the last time, and it was like... And let's see. I tend to agree. Asgard tech, I would suspect, is superior to Star Trek Federation tech. Yeah, I would guess so, but I'd have to really dig into it to give an honest assessment. Do you want the bowling alley in the main base or trading station? Thomas, I think you should put the bowling alley in the trading station because we'll have more guests there and they can spend their hard-earned money there. We want Namor in the MCU. I would not mind seeing Namor in the MCU, and I think Captain Foley should play Namor. Daniel says, the next time you, Mrs. Antrekker, go to Burger King, you should get the Big King meal. It's a little more expensive than the Whopper meal, but it's worth it. Mrs. Antrekker actually really likes the Big King. But since we're doing the no-carb thing, I don't like going to places like Burger King because I don't want to have a Whopper with no bun. And so I won't go. Because even though I know you can have a Whopper with no bun, I don't want it. No. Daniel says, who is Marvel Girl? Talked about that already. Jean Grey, prior to her becoming Phoenix. Too many Marvel characters, and then John says, too many characters named Marvel. Yeah, that is kind of funny. There were quite a few. Mr. Wow says, I miss the Taco Bell Enchilito, the original with corn tortillas, not those soggy flour ones they served later. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Burger King is good. McDonald's is the best fries. I really liked McDonald's fries up until a few years ago. They did something that changed them a little bit. Now I think Wendy's has the best. Oh, actually, the best fries, which are unfortunately limited time only kind of deals, the nacho fries from Taco Bell. Holy crap! Forget about the stupid nacho sauce. I throw that away. The nacho fries, the seasoning on the nacho fries is holy crap so good. So I really do like that. And then there's also a place called Bojangles Chicken, and they have really good fries as well. And I also really actually like the potato wedges at KFC, but those don't count as fries. But I can't have fries anymore, so stop making me talk about fries. Dang, that hurts. Buck Rogers Fighter versus X-Wings. That's another tough one. I would say that based on what we've seen on screen, I'm going to have to go with X-Wings because but I could be wrong because I haven't watched Buck Rogers in a long time, but I don't believe that the starfighters on Buck Rogers had shields, but the X-Wings do. So I would think that would be the advantage right there. Try in and out protein style. No, I don't like burgers without buns. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. I love carbs, and so if I'm gonna do the no carb thing, I'm not getting burgers. I can't do it. I'll make a McDonald's. Okay. Says who's Jean Grey? Kidding. You guys are so funny. Dan, just kidding. I know who Marvel Girl is. No problem. Alexander says in Judge Dredd comic, the curses land. They go through a territory where McDonald's and Burger King are at war. Ronald McDonald's is a dictator, and he kills an employee running a milkshake. Wow, that's interesting, Alexander. Resolute says the nacho fries suck. Well, you and I disagree on that one. Mr. Ross says Wiener Schnitzel has amazing fries. Back in the 90s, they never skimped on the salt. I have not been to Wiener Schnitzel since I've lived in California. I forgot about that. Nightbreeze says the nacho fries are amazing. Agreed. Wesley says, what the hell is Bojangles fried chicken? I'd never heard of Bojangles until I moved here, so I assume they're like a smaller chain. At least they're not on the West Coast that I know of. Squirrel Girl can defeat Hulk, Superman, and even Rey Skywalker, the embodiment of the Force itself. Grr, I hate bad writing. Agreed on Squirrel Girl is stupid. Those Taco Bell Carogan jerks don't have nacho fries anymore. I know! And the true story. Every now and then, Mrs. Antricker allows me to cheat on the diet, right? And so we were at a drive-thru, and she said I could get something. We were at Taco Bell, and I'm looking at the menu board, and there's the nacho fries on the menu board. And okay, give me one of those nacho fries.
I'm sorry, sir. We no longer carry the nacho fries.
It's right there on the menu board. And so I was like, well, that sucks. Okay, well, Joshua wanted his thing, so I said, okay, here's what he wants, and he wants to drink oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called, but a limited time freeze thing that's also on the menu board right in front of him.
I'm sorry, sir. We're no longer carrying it.
And I said to the guy, look, update your damn menu, because your menu shows me these items that you're saying you don't carry. I'm sure you switched it yesterday, so switch the damn menu, because that is wrong to get me excited about some nacho fries, and you don't have any nacho fries. What the hell is Nudies Honky Tonk? No, never been to Nudies Honky Tonk. Daniel says, hey, Trigger, if you were single, would you be with Michael Burnham? No. I agree. A few years back, McDonald's fries changed, but in my town, they changed back because of complaints. They put the addictive drugs back in the fries. That must be it. Mr. Miles says, In-N-Out Burger probably has the best fries, but you have to eat them hot. They cool down. They turn horrible. That is true. And since I didn't mention In-N-Out Burger because there are no In-N-Out Burgers in Tennessee, but In-N-Out Burger in California, they do have the best fries. And their secret is so simple that anybody could do it and have just as good of fries, but only In-N-Out is willing to do it. And that is, here's how they make their fries. You take potato, you slice it, you drop it in the fryer. That is how they cook their fries. They are so damn good. But yeah, the problem is, since there's not all the weird chemicals and stuff that everybody else uses in their frozen fries, then if you don't eat the fries within a few minutes of getting them, they get really nasty. So you want to eat them while they're hot. But damn, they are good. Bojangles has great sweet tea, sweat tea. That's why. Yeah, that's why you said that. Okay, but it goes bad in 4 or 5 hours. But when it's fresh, it's amazing. I don't really care for the tea. But that's just me. I'm not a big tea drinker, and I don't understand the Southern obsession with sweet tea. But at the same time, their fries are great, and their chicken's not bad. It's not as good as the Colonel, but it's not bad. Can Mongoose Man defeat Squirrel Girl? I don't know. Never heard of Mongoose Man, and if that's a real thing or if you're just making that up. However, if Mongoose Man was real, that would be awesome, and I would love to see that fight. Fast food employees want $15 an hour, but they can't change the sign. Yeah, what's the deal? I'll tell you, the whole $15 an hour thing, I'm sorry, and this is not a diss on people that work in fast food restaurants. I spent 5 years of my life working in fast food. I do not believe that the burger flipper or taco maker or whatever needs to make more than $5 an hour. Sorry, I don't. Now, people say, oh my God, Eddie Trigger, that's such a low wage. Yes, because you know who primarily does that kind of stuff? And I will tell you from personal experience, this is true. The people that are primarily doing that work is there are 3 types of people that work there. People who are kids in school who are just trying to make some extra money. B, retirees looking to do something because they're bored. And C, people who need a little extra money and so they're working a second job. All right, those are the people that actually be burger flippers for an extended period of time. Now, I said I spent 5 years in fast food restaurants. That is absolutely true. But guess what? I worked for a couple of different chains over that time. And with each chain, every fast food chain I've worked at, I was in management within 6 months. Because if you want to make $15 an hour at Burger King, be a manager. End of discussion. So don't, and it's not like it's hard to be a manager. You know what you have to do to be a manager at Burger King? Work your butt off when you're flipping burgers and making fries. Show them that you care about the actual, the actual product and everything, and let your manager know that you want to be a manager and you're in. It's not that hard. Now, if you're lazy on the job, if you call in sick a lot or whatever, yeah, you're not going to get the job. But I'm sorry, it is ridiculously easy to get into management of fast food. If I got fired from my job today, which since I've been off work so long, who knows? Maybe I'll get fired. Well, except that they can't right now, it'd be illegal. But if they fired me and I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do? Because YouTube doesn't make enough money. I'd go down the street to Burger King or whatever, get a job tomorrow. Because A, it's really easy to get a job at fast food. Within a few months, I would be in their management program. And that I would do that in a heartbeat because I want to take care of my family. However, and so people that want to make $15 an hour flipping burgers, I'm sorry. How about this? How about you earn that $15 an hour by proving yourself and getting a better job? Sorry, that's my tough love speech for today. Here, have a nice, greasy, and tasty burger with extra large fries and a drink. Yes, I'm teasing you. I know. And you know what's so funny? I remember when I worked at Burger King, people would come, yeah, I'd like a double Whopper with extra cheese, a large fry, and a large onion ring, and a large Diet Coke. You don't need the Diet Coke at that point. Daniel says, I've heard of In-N-Out Burger. They mentioned the movie Fletch. Yeah, they're very good. Mr. Miles says, I have an In-N-Out potato press for making fries. I found it at a flea market. It's amazing. Way too big, but still so nice to use. I am jealous of you. Man, that is cool. Judge Dredd is so GD funny in the comics. It's mainly dark and absurd humor. There's a boss, Lord hiring hitman, AI vacuum cleaner sucking up people to death. That's definitely weird. I've never read the Judge Dredd comics. What are you talking about with McDonald's employees? The kids, old people, and pocket money people. They may have been true in your day, but it doesn't seem true today. Well, I was last working in fast food about 10 years ago, maybe. But here's the thing. If you want to advance, it's not hard. I'm sorry, it's not. Yes, you have to work your ass off. Yes, it's not easy work, but you can do it if you're dedicated to it. If you go into Burger King tomorrow and get a job, and it's not that hard because most of the people you guys have watched go into any fast food restaurant right now and watch them do their work, and this is what you see. Okay, that's how you see them work. Now, you get one person in there that is busting their ass, working hard, moving fast, hustling the whole time, and guess what? Not only will the people who go to that restaurant notice that person, management will notice that person, and you will be able to get an advancement. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. That being said, yeah, is it true that single moms and stuff like that sometimes work in fast food like you were saying, Mr. Miles? Absolutely. Yes, there are people that are desperate that need a job of some kind that will go to fast food because they might have a college degree, but they can't get a job because they live in a crappy market like California. No offense, but I will tell you, getting a job in California is a lot harder than getting a job in Tennessee. But you live in a tough market, you're taking whatever you can get, right? And you say, oh, but these poor people, she's a single mom, she's trying to support her kids, so shouldn't they pay her $15 an hour? The answer to that is no. They need to pay her what the job is worth. If she wants $15 an hour, then like anybody else, she can bust her ass at work and get the promotion and get into management and make more money. It really is that simple. Just because nice people are working crappy jobs doesn't mean the crappy job should pay more. All right, we are, this is, and with the exception of Alexander, that's not how we're not communists. That's not how it works. All right, so you can do it. And let's see. Just past Murfreesboro Road. Yes, I know right where you are. You're actually in the Nashville area, if I'm remembering correctly. All right, you're still here. It's over. Go home. Yeah, I'm leaving in just a second, actually, because Mrs. Anti-Tricker, I saw just put in the chat that she's on her way home. Danny says, oh my God, Anti-Tricker, you were a manager at Burger King. That is so cool. I was a manager at Burger King, a manager of... I actually really enjoy being a manager of Domino's Pizza. If I could do anything right now, I would open up my own pizza restaurant. I would absolutely love that. I was also a manager for a really nice chain in the San Francisco Bay Area called Nations. And I was a manager for Boston Market when they were a thing. But yeah, it's not that, it really is not that hard to get advanced in it. But you can't think of, if you feel bad for the person doing the job and you say, oh gosh, they're working a crappy job and they're trying to make ends meet and that's so not fair. I understand that. That's good compassion and everything. And you know what you should do? Help that person rather than say, you should help that person. Because you know what? McDonald's isn't just made of $1 billion of money. They have to pay their bills. And, everybody thinks, oh, these big restaurant chains make so much money, right? What they don't realize is they make that money 10 cents at a time, right? You're not making a ton. If somebody walks into McDonald's and they order a Big Mac meal or whatever, then the company is actually making like 10 to 20 cents in profit off of that. Now, all of a sudden you want to double everybody's wages. That profit's gone. Sorry. I don't believe that you should force companies to operate in the red just because you feel bad for their employees. Sorry. Start your own food truck. I've considered it, Chief Cook, but I'd rather do a storefront restaurant. And Captain Redneck said, fast food is minimum skill, minimum wage. $5 an hour is reasonable. 15 is ridiculous. We agree on that one, Captain Redneck. Diet Coke is better than regular choke. True, I guess. After I used to order Diet Coke with big orders because I like Diet Coke. Well, if you just like Diet Coke, that's fine. But, and I am just going to read the chats as they that are addressed to me, and then I am out of here because Miss Antrigger is on her way home, and we got stuff to do. I mostly cut drinking soda, cutting up carbonated beverages, blah, blah, blah. Why did I read that? I don't know. But yeah, I know you shouldn't drink it that much, but I do. Can I apply to be a window attendant at a fast food place? Sure, you can. But usually with fast food, you just walk in, you say, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And you got the job. Wes, if you want to say, oh, I want to be that person, they're going to say, have a nice day. When they put in the window that they have flexible hours, that means that you need to walk in there saying, whatever hours you want me, I'm here. And they will hire you. Wesley says, Andrew, not in California. You have to speak Spanish and English to become management. I was a manager for 3 different fast food chains in California. That is a lie. Now, maybe if you happen to live in a predominantly Spanish-speaking community, they would prefer that their management be able to speak Spanish. However, number one, if it would be, you could actually argue discrimination if they force you to speak a language that is not the native language. Number 2, you could also argue that, or it just doesn't make sense, because you know what? Even though California is a lot of Hispanics compared to most states, not everywhere in California is all Hispanic. Southern California more so, but yeah. Let's see. Alexander said, restaurantation is a very stressful job. When you start, but you never know when you finish. It's very hot in the kitchen. I had skin problems when I worked there. I didn't say it wasn't stressful, but it ain't skilled. Just bust your butt at it and you will move. I live in Tennessee. Jobs are else to get. I assume you mean easy. if that's, but yeah, everywhere here in Murfreesboro, everyone's hiring. Wesley says, yes, you do at McDonald's. Well, McDonald's has that policy out, and they're shooting themselves in the foot. However, then don't go to McDonald's. And, you know, if go somewhere that doesn't have a ridiculous language barrier to their management. Ms. Ancher, can you stop and get us all the steaks, please? Yeah, that's going to happen. Ontario, Canada has a $15 minimum wage. Yes, and Canada also has ridiculous taxes. Mr. Miles, here's the thing. If you aren't making a livable wage, which is about $15 an hour, then they tend to qualify for food stamps and other social programs that taxpayers pay for. Here's the thing, though. That doesn't mean you should bankrupt the companies they work for. I'm sorry, Miles, but just because it seems unfair that, oh, golly gee, they're working hard, they should get more money. Well, not every company just has money to pay everybody $15 an hour. And you know what happens if you raise minimum wage to $15 an hour? Hyperinflation. Everything goes up in cost because every business will need to recoup the additional cost of paying their unskilled labor 3 times the wage. That's what will happen. And what happens to people that are already making, say, $15 to $20 an hour? Guess what? Now, instead of a good living wage job, they have a minimum wage job, and they're not going to get a big old pay raise just because all the people under them did. And so you're going to screw over everybody, except for the wealthy. They'll still be fine. You can make a turd-shaped pizza. I could, and I would. Now I'm in the parking, and we have a union. We're close to receive $15 an hour. It's very easier than in the restaurant. Fast food chains are doing a lot of profit they can pay. You're wrong, Alexander. You are dead wrong, because you know what? It sounds like they make a lot of money, but like I said, and you don't understand the economics of it if you don't, but that's fine. If you make the profit margin on fast food is extremely slim. When you force the restaurants to double the wages, their profit margin goes to 0. And then they have to raise their prices. And then everybody else has to raise their prices. And then it doesn't help. If everybody has to raise their prices to compensate for paying their employees a minimum wage of $15 an hour, guess what? Now $15 an hour is worth what $5 an hour is worth yesterday. Anyway, Star Wars The Mandalorian will be revealed at D23 tomorrow. You should watch. I will. I will if I can. I don't know if I'll have time. The U.S. has no official language, so I don't think we can claim native language, can we? I'm not sure how that works on the legal level. I'm not sure either, to be honest. I thought about that as I was saying. I was like, yeah, technically. And so let's see. Raising minimum wage is to keep up with inflation, except that that's why it ends up causing hyperinflation. Because if you raise minimum wage by that kind of a level, then it will trigger a massive jump in inflation, which will in turn trigger another increase of minimum wage, which will in turn do another increase in inflation, etc. That is what causes hyperinflation. And Antrager, you've got it backwards. No, I know exactly. Believe me, I paid people minimum wage forever when I was in restaurants. I understand exactly how it works, and I also understand the profit margins of a restaurant. And for people to just say, well, the corporation makes a lot of money, you know what? McDonald's has tens of thousands of locations, each of which is selling tens of thousands of combo meals every single week. So if they're making 10 cents per combo meal, that's a ton of money. However, if you double the wages, because you know what McDonald's also pays? Hundreds of millions of dollars in wages to these people. And so if you double that, their profits go away. Daniel says, Hey, Trigger, back in 2005, I used to work at McDonald's, got $400 every 2 weeks, and guess what? They were horrible, evil slave drivers. They were so mean. Well, first of all, if they were paying you $400 every 2 weeks, they were not slave drivers, because you wouldn't be paid if you were a slave. Number 2, if your management sucked so bad, go elsewhere. All right, so I really do need to finish up. In Russia, they pay the people $1,000 or $1.30 an hour, and the burger's the same price. And anywhere, I'm not sure what you mean there. If you're saying they pay the people less and the burgers are the same price than anywhere, well, that's because they haven't forced them to pay that much yet. But yeah. Captain Redneck, anti-trucker spot on with his inflation analysis. Raise the minimum wage, the cost of everything goes up along with it. Exactly. Exactly. And Alexander says, we raise the minimum wage every year so we have no significant inflation. You know what? You would have no inflation if you would stop forcing companies to pay more. And you know what? I do believe in paying a fair wage. But I'm sorry, if anybody with 10 minutes of training can do the job, that is not a skilled job. Sorry, it just doesn't work. And it's not a matter of compassion or love, because I understand that's where that's coming from, and I respect that. You guys are thinking, oh, you know, let's help out these people that that are suffering and trying to get by. But it it just doesn't work that way. Rock Solid's 13 miles from Murfreesboro. Very cool, Rock Solid. That means that you're probably around Smyrna right now. But I do need to wrap it up. I really, really do. Thank you guys for the engaging conversation. We'll argue some more about fast food in the future, I'm sure. And now that we've been talking about fast food, I'm really, really hungry. And Titan's saying I'm a dumbass because they disagree with me. Well, Titan, that's all right. You can call me a dumbass all day long. I've done it. I've worked it. I know how it works. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But the simple fact is that, you know, if you look at the actual numbers of a restaurant, you would understand doubling everybody's wage does not simply make everybody wealthier. What it does is bankrupts the company, assuming their profit margin is less than what they're currently paying all their employees. And that's the thing. I can't get into it too much, but let's say a typical fast food restaurant will have a staff of generally 20 to 50 people, depending on how busy that restaurant is. So let's take something in the middle. So 30 people, right? So 30 people times $15 an hour times, we'll say about 30 hours a week average for a fast food place. And some of those are part-time, some of them are full-time, etc. Now, that means that your profit, your net profit, has to be at least $13,500 a week in order to cover that wage, right? That's bare minimum, right? Most fast food restaurants don't have a profit margin that large. Most fast food restaurants, for example, at Domino's, you're considered to be a successful store if you break $10,000 a week. So that's not a ton. And so $13,500 a week just to pay your staff. That doesn't count your food costs, your electrical costs, the building costs, and all that crap. So, you know, that's the problem. And Titan says the typical worker who would benefit from $15 minimum wage is the 35-year-old woman with some college-level coursework who works full-time. That doesn't matter. None of that matters, Titan. Just because the employee would benefit from making $15 an hour doesn't make it sustainable. It doesn't make it work. It does, and you see, and just like you're saying, oh, it'll be particularly significant for workers of color. So now you're a racist if you don't bankrupt McDonald's? It doesn't matter who benefits from it. As far anybody who is working minimum wage would benefit from a $15 minimum wage. But that doesn't mean the companies can survive it. You're just looking at it from the perspective of the employee. You're not thinking about the fact that if the business is not making money, they're not going to be paying anybody anything. Do you get that? That's the problem. And don't get me wrong, I get the compassion there and I respect that. But you are arguing that because you feel bad for the employee, they should make more money. No, that's not how the real world works. And so, and that's the thing. And now Mr. Miles said, oh, you know, McDonald's offsets that they raised the price of their burgers by about 30 cents. Poof, done, solved. And guess what? Now what happens when the meat packers have to pay their people more? No, now they're going to have to charge a little bit more for their beef. So now McDonald's has to pay more for their beef. So I guess they're going to bump up their burgers another 30 cents. Oh, but wait a minute. Now all, because we all the agricultural people have to pay their people more in order to pick the lettuce, and so now the lettuce costs more, and so now they're going to have to raise the burgers another 30 cents. You're making my point. Thank you, Mr. Miles. That's inflation. Bam. All right. Anyway, I'm done. Have a great night, and Alexander, I didn't forget about you. Here's your thing.
The board vessel's moving into range.
On screen.
Let's get lost in that magic place all alone now. Drink your fill from my fountain of love, wet your lips. I'm a man, I'm a teaser, I'm a man, well I'm a virgin, I'm a man, I'm a one-night stand, a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a dream, I'm a dream divine, make love together.
He's dead.
All right, so one quick thing I do want to mention, because I know Titan, you're passionate about it, and I appreciate that. I do. I really respect that. But so now you're saying, you're trying to throw some numbers out there, saying McDonald's had this great sales growth that they made, $37 billion. That means they made $102 million per day, right? And so that's awesome, right? That's great. Now, remember, I was talking about profit. You're talking about gross. Now, if you McDonald's also has 210,000 employees. If those employees work an average of 5 hours a day, that, my friend, is $15,750,000 per day, right? So now your 102 million is down to what, about 85 million. However, then you talked about, well, there's 14,036 units, right? Now, any idea how much it costs to have the electricity for 14,000 restaurants? And keep in mind, a restaurant uses a whole lot more electricity than a typical residential home. You have a lot of industrial equipment running there, and the equipment runs from the time you open to the time you close. So you are burning a lot of power there. Not only that, but you have 14,036 pieces of real estate to maintain. 14,000. All right. So no, that's not. So it sounds like, oh, they have $102 billion. That doesn't mean that they have $102 billion in profit. It doesn't mean that they can afford to spend $102 million, because that's not even taking into account the cost of the food, the cost of the uniforms, the cost of maintenance on the equipment itself, the cost of required upgrades to the restaurants for health reasons and other regulations. The cost of upgrades to, like, a lot of these restaurants didn't have computer systems in there 10 years ago and do now. That's hundreds of millions of dollars right there. So you're thinking that, oh, 102 million a day, they have all this money. No, they don't. That's not profit. Learn what profit is. Anyway, guys, I do have to go. Have a good one. Take care, and don't let the bed bugs bite. Hey, Rock Solid, you're on 96 East. You are literally going to drive right by my house. Bye.